What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be doing a story time. So I'm pretty sure this is the first story of the new decade slash new year. I can't remember if I've done one yet or not this year, but if I have, disregard that statement. If I haven't, well, here we are doing our first one. As far as I know, it's the first one, but this is going to be the story of the time that I was nearly robbed in a parking lot at McDonald's on Christmas Eve, which just saying that out loud feels really weird. Kind of funny looking back on it, but man, it was pretty scary while it was going down, you know? And, well, with all of that being said, let me go ahead and break the entire situation down pretty much chronologically here of how the entire night went and really, I guess, what happened. Alright, so like I said, it was Christmas Eve, and I actually, of course, had things to do. Like, I had to go places and see family, things like that. I mean, pretty typical Christmas Eve kind of stuff going on there, but this time around, I went to my aunt's house, and this, of course, was on Christmas Eve of 2018, and like I said, I went to my aunt's house, and I was there for a few hours and everything, and I know it's gonna sound weird and everything, and even looking back on it, I think it was actually really weird because, I mean, it's, I think, kind of odd to not eat on the holidays, you know what I'm saying, and kind of enjoy those dinners and stuff with your family, but I actually didn't eat. And, well, of course, I was there for hours on end, and I hadn't eaten all day at this point. It had been, like, almost 24 hours since I had anything to eat, and I was like, you know what, McDonald's is only a few minutes away, why don't I go ahead and go get something there? One of the few places that's open locally on Christmas Eve, especially as late as it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock by the time I was actually leaving, and so I go, and it's kind of out of my way. It's not on the way home or anything at this point, so I actually went out of my way to go get something, and I swear, all I wanted was a McChicken, right? Like, I like McChickens, I think they're good, sometimes I put way too much mayonnaise on them and stuff, but I wanted to go get something to eat. I actually decided to go inside because the drive-thru was literally so goddamn long that it wrapped out around the building, and now I don't know exactly what it is about Christmas, where it's just like everyone has to go to McDonald's apparently, but man, it was packed. I'm dead serious, there was probably, I would say 18 to 20 cars sitting in the drive-thru. Like, it was wrapped, man, and I just wasn't going with that. So pretty much nowhere else is open though at that time of night and on Christmas Eve. Combining those factors doesn't really help. So I was like, you know what, I guess I'll just go inside and see if that works. And so, by the way, this is like a big kind of like shopping center that this is actually in. Like, it's not one of the like standalone McDonald's or anything like that. Like, there's a whole bunch of department stores or whatever you want to call them. Like, there's big stores and stuff mixed with little ones in this shopping center, like a couple gas stations and other like standing buildings that are out in the parking lot, and the McDonald's is out here in the parking lot, like it's not obviously in the shopping center or anything. And so there's this big ass parking lot, and there's barely any lights working in this parking lot, which by the way was completely creepy, but I parked out of the light, right? Because honestly, I don't really like parking next to anybody, especially in a big parking lot. I already know how people are. They fucking run into your car and dent it, and then they back away and leave, or they slam your car with their door. So I'm not really a fan of that, okay? So I kind of parked out by myself. I was like 4 or 5 cars away from anybody at this point. And there was this SUV literally, like, it was the closest car to me. Like, it was like 5 away from me, and so I you know, didn't really mind or anything. That was far enough for me, so I walk a little bit to get to the McDonald's. I would literally rather walk than have my car dented or anything like that. Not really a big deal to me. So I walk into McDonald's, and nothing happens up until this point. I actually go in there, and it's really not even that crowded. Like, there's a few people in there, and there's the employees, of course. And by the way, I definitely don't recommend going into a McDonald's on Christmas Eve. Nobody in there wants to work, okay? That's just a little side note, but nobody in there is trying to do anything, okay? They just want to go home and relax and spend time with their families. They really don't give a shit about your hamburger or your fries or anything like that. So when I get inside is where the problem kind of really starts, because I realized that I left my phone out in the car. I was charging it and everything on the way there, and well, obviously I'm not going to leave my phone out in the car. Another little side note, the reason I refuse to leave my phone in the car, I know there's some people who probably would think that's weird if you live in like some awesome community or something like that, like, oh, there's no problem with that. Well, where I live is kind of bad when it comes to crime. Like, the crime rate is like 4 times higher than the national average. There is a shit ton of theft and burglary. It's insane how much that actually occurs here, and I'm really not trying to lose a phone. because I left it out in the car and risked it for some, like a McChicken and some fries. Like, I really wasn't trying to give up my phone over some stupid shit. So I decided before I was even gonna order, I'm gonna go back and get my phone. I don't want to leave it out in the car. And I guess while trying to avoid another crime, by the way, this McDonald's it seems like it's in a nicer part of town, but shit always happens in this area. Like, there's always police parked in these parking lots and stuff. I don't know why. I'm assuming people probably honestly use it for drug deals or go around and burglarize the cars, which, I mean, really just added to my suspicion, the fact that there's police nearby all the time, kind of just chilling out in the parking lots and stuff. So I said, well, you know, I'm gonna go get my phone, and I go ahead and make the trek back. And by the way, it's a pretty decent walk to my car from this McDonald's, so it takes me a little while to get there, right? I mean, it doesn't take me 4 hours, but it's not a 10-second walk out to the car. But when I get back out to my car, that SUV that I was talking about, right, that's like 5 spots away from me, there's somebody sitting in the car. And by the way, the car's not on or anything, and they're not in the driver's seat. They're in the passenger seat up front. And he has his feet up on the dashboard, okay? So, I mean, I just kind of saw him, and I went past, right? And I go get my phone up out of the car, I unplug it and everything, shut the car door, and start to go back into the building. And of course, he's parked, you know, towards the McDonald's. Like, I'm parked farther away from this building than he is, so I have to walk back past the car, or the SUV, I should say, to get into this place. Now, it was already kind of sketchy that this dude was sitting in a vehicle that wasn't turned on, was almost as far away from any of these stores that you really could get. All of these other stores are closed by where we're parked at, and he's just kind of chilling out there, right? I mean, it's freezing fucking cold. It's like 30 degrees outside, but I'm really not trying to have a problem with him, so I'm not going to go up to the window and start questioning him or anything and, you know, being an idiot. So I just walk past, right, and I'm going back towards this McDonald's. Well, apparently he said, fuck that, you're not going anywhere without my permission, so he gets out of the car. And I mean, I'm a little bit away now, right? Like, I'm probably 10 cars down towards this McDonald's. Like, I don't know why, if he was gonna, you know, try to press me the way he did, why he didn't get out a lot earlier, because, I mean, like I said, we, by the way, were not in any lit area of the parking lot. He probably could have actually gotten one off on me had he gotten out of the vehicle earlier, but he does. He hops out, and he starts walking really fast towards me. And the only reason I even know that he's coming towards me is because he starts yelling at me from behind, right? And he keeps saying, hey, I want to talk to you. Come here real quick. I want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck does this guy want? Like, I have never interacted with this person before. I didn't even look at this guy. The only way I even noticed him was because of my peripheral vision, and apparently now he has an issue with me. So he's trying to start this big ass scene in a dimly lit parking lot at 10 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve. So I'm starting to wonder, like, you know, what exactly is going on in his personal life. But then again, I don't really have anything that I can say because I'm going into a fucking McDonald's on Christmas Eve to get a McChicken. So he's walking up behind me, and I turn around, right, because he's yelling at me. There's literally nobody else in the parking lot except for these cars going through the drive-thru and all this shit ton of parked cars that are all packed together in certain areas that are going into like the gas station, McDonald's, the 2 stores that are open at this point, none of which were anywhere near. So I look at him, and I thought maybe it was somebody that I knew at first, like, and that's why he was coming up towards me trying to talk, quote unquote, talk to me and shit. But then I quickly realized that no, that he's not trying to talk to me like that. At this point, I'm probably like 80 feet maybe away from McDonald's or so, and I see this guy, and I'm kind of questioning what is about to happen right here, but I realize that his hands are in his pockets, right, like in his front pocket, and he's like fidgeting around while he's walking. So at this point, I have no fucking idea what's about to happen, so I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gonna stand around and talk to this guy. So I start walking towards McDonald's, right? I'm really not trying to cause any more issues or possibly be stabbed, shot, mugged, anything like that. So he's actually closing distance on me pretty well, because at this point, like, I'm not trying to cause a scene or anything. I don't want to go like sprinting into this McDonald's and have like a bunch of people getting out of their cars wondering what's going on. I don't really want to like have a bunch of McDonald's employees wondering why this fucking dude came running into the store at full speed. And I mean, I still have some distance on him, so I'm walking casually because I mean, is he gonna shoot me in my back? What is this, Call of Duty? You know, like, I'm not really afraid of anything going down, if I'm being honest, but I definitely wasn't gonna sit there and quote unquote talk to the guy. And the whole time I'm walking away from him, he's yelling shit at me still. Like, he's just running his mouth. Like, he's all about, hey, I said come back here and talk to me real quick, bitch. Like, he really is trying to, like, make me turn around and talk to him. Like, he's, I don't know, trying to scare me or, like, make me mad or something. I don't really know what he was trying to do, but I didn't have anything on me either. Like, I know a lot of people actually, like, conceal carry and stuff like that, but I'm not old enough to do that anyway legally, so I'm not trying to get arrested for having a weapon that I'm not supposed to have or anything like that. It's a pretty serious charge. So I beat him into McDonald's, and I'm going right back up to the cash register because I kind of thought in my head, like, I know this guy is probably trying to rob me. Like, I know he watched me probably grab my phone out of the car because I never put the phone, like, into my pockets or anything like that. I just kind of had it in my hand. And honestly, a lot of phones actually end up missing where I'm from. I mean, you'll look on, like, Facebook Marketplace or anywhere like that, and there's literally just tons of phones. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of what's going on there, maybe. But it's always like a locked phone. Like, they'll let you know, like, oh, hey, by the way, the phone's locked. Something like that. So, you know, pretty suspicious for somebody who, you know, just had the phone for a couple weeks and doesn't want it anymore. And I knew he wasn't going to follow me inside the building and try to do anything to me. I mean, I'm not really stupid. I mean, if he went inside of this building where there's cameras pretty much all over the place and tried to do something like that, I mean, yeah, he'd be caught pretty quickly. He was wearing just a hoodie, some jeans, and shoes. It wasn't like he had some black ski mask on or something to conceal his identity. But now, once I go inside, I get my food and everything, and obviously McDonald's is literally just all windows out in the dining room, so I can see my car out in the distance, and I watched him go all the way back to the SUV. And at this point, I'm like, great, like, I gotta walk past him to get to the car and everything, so I don't know what exactly is about to happen, but here's the weird part of everything. You know how I told you guys that there's, like, police that kind of chill out in these parking lots and whatnot at night and stuff? Well, apparently there was a police officer somewhere in the parking lot, and I didn't know that, and he watched this whole thing unfold, okay? So when I left, right, I was just gonna go back to the car and kind of just hope that shit wouldn't break out, even though that's a really stupid thing looking in hindsight. Like, that was just completely foolish of me. But the thing is I had like 3, maybe 4 inches on this guy just from what I could see from afar. I mean, maybe he was actually taller and I thought he was up close, but he was a pretty good distance away. It looked like he was a little bit shorter than me at least, and I know I probably had maybe 50 pounds on this guy, so if he didn't actually have anything on him, I probably would have been able to, like, maybe hold my own. Maybe not beat the complete shit out of him, but maybe at least deter him from robbing me if that was what was going on. So I just said, fuck it, and walked back to the car. Or at least I tried to. Well, the moment I come outside, this police car comes pulling up out front with the sirens on, which, by the way, drew the attention of literally everybody. And he gets up out of the car and he walks over to me and he's like, hey, I want you to tell me what happened between you and that guy when you were walking in here. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, you couldn't have done anything 20 minutes ago when the shit was actually unfolding, but I wasn't gonna sit here and write him a 4-page essay or anything. I was trying to go home at this point. It's probably 10:45. It's been a minute. I had to wait in line. There's like 3 people in line and everything, and I ate my food, of course. So I just tell him, like, I don't even really know what was going down. I just walked past the car out there and he got out and followed me, and that was pretty much the end of it. And I guess the cop made the dude leave, so that's what I assume because, well, when I was walking back to the car after the police officer came up to me and everything, the SUV was completely gone and there was no signs of this person anywhere around, so I have no idea if the police officer talked to him or not. All I know is he came up, pulled up out front, made a big scene, and then asked me what happened, and I told him basically what I knew. This guy just kind of followed me up to the building, talking about some bullshit. I have no idea what was actually supposed to happen, but yeah, I mean, to this day, like, knowing the shit that goes on where I live, knowing how bad it is, and things like that, when it comes to, like, theft and shit like that, I'm pretty certain he was gonna try to rob me in the parking lot, and it was probably a good thing I went out and got my phone, because, I mean, if he was there looking for shit and was gonna be rummaging through cars, I mean, my phone was literally right up front, so it would have been seen pretty much instantaneously had he went into the car. But yeah, it was a pretty weird experience, and ever since then, I've been extremely cautious wherever I go to make sure that, well, I'm parking in a place where people aren't sitting in cars waiting to cause a goddamn scene. I haven't had another situation like this unfold yet, but I mean, yeah, I feel like, honestly, it's only time will tell if it's gonna happen again. I hope not, though. It was a pretty shitty experience. It kind of ruined my night, if I'm being honest, but that's pretty much the story, though, for you guys. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. Surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Make sure to check out OpTube down below. Lots of great things going on down there as well. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, getting robbed in parking lots, and signing out.